Hello guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of the most complete and technologically advanced robot vacuums on the market. It's from the brand Roborock with their Saros 10R model. This model was released a few months ago. But now, with Black Friday, you can get it with a €600 discount at a super competitive price. This Roborock Saros 10R, as I said, is one of the most advanced robot vacuums on the market. In this video, you're going to see all the obstacle detection technologies, mopping map generation, and automatic cleaning features it has, which allow our home cleaning to be fully automated for many months. We'll only need to do some occasional cleaning and maintenance, but they'll be very quick, and in the end, the cleaning of our home will be taken care of. I've been testing it for a few days, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how it works and what I think about this Saros 10R. So, let's get started with the video. Let's start by talking very briefly about the unboxing of this device. And it stands out mainly because once we open the box, we find the base, the station, the dock, which comes fully assembled. On the other hand, we get the robot vacuum, the two mops, and the cable to plug it into the power outlet. In 2 to 3 minutes, with the plastic removed, we have it assembled and working. Also, it's worth mentioning that the box includes some accessories, such as an extra filter, so that when the first one wears out, when it's full of dirt, we can replace it directly without needing to buy accessories. One is already included. Also in the box, we get the 2 mops that we can attach magnetically to the robot in a super simple way. And also, you'll see that the brushes we have spin to pick up hair and all the dirt from the floor. They are removable and cut in half. That way, it won't allow hair, for example, to get tangled, and over time, these brushes won't work worse and worse. But in this case, what happens is that we can remove the brush at any time, easily remove hair, and replace the clean brushes on the robot. Let's start with the robot, which is a vacuum cleaner. In this case, the Saros 10R has a very particular feature, and that is that it's the thinnest robot on the market, with a height of just 7.98 centimeters, which will allow it to go under the typical furniture we have. Well, in rooms, there are drawer units with wheels that are very low in height and that other robot vacuums can't get under. Well, that's what makes this Saros 10R stand out, because it's precisely very low profile. And it allows it to go under a lot of surfaces to achieve a much deeper cleaning. As for the base, it's a moderate size. Honestly, it's not very big. It's not one of the biggest we've seen here on the channel. There are some that are oversized, super tall, right? This base lets the robot clean itself automatically. And also on top of that, it has a couple of water tanks, one for clean water and one for dirty water to remove all the dirt from the cleaning. The space is, I think, pretty optimized, and also the overall look, both of the charging base, the dock as they call it, and the robot vacuum itself is really nice. It's well designed and minimalist. It has some piano black, which attracts dust, but other areas are matte black. And honestly, they give it a super elegant touch with really good build materials. But hey, the important thing about a robot vacuum is that it cleans well, so let's put it to the test. The first thing I did was turn it on, connect it to the app. It asked me to connect to its Wi-Fi and to set up my home Wi-Fi for it. Automatically from there, it started charging itself, and from that point on, it began giving me all the information about its charging status. Well, the water tanks were empty, so what I did was refill the clean water tank. Also, this robot allows you to add a floor cleaning product, and the Roborock brand itself recommends using their own product. In this case, I only used water and it cleaned very well. The main thing with a robot vacuum is that it cleans well. We'll cover 2 parts. First, how it organizes cleaning inside the house. Because of the mapping system of the room, the objects that exist, the type of carpets, well, the types of floors in general that we have inside the house. Honestly, it's the best I've tried, without any doubt. And in this, the good performance of the app also counts, which has pleasantly surprised me. Then, on the other hand, let's talk about the cleaning itself, okay? Let's start by talking about all the cleaning systems it has. In this case, we have the Start Site Autonomous System 2.0, which is a camera system. sensors that will recognize the entire environment it is in, and they will even allow it to detect 108 types of objects in the room, in such a way that through artificial intelligence, it will be able to recognize if an object is a pet, stuffed animal, or cables, it's just an obstacle. All of this will appear in the app. Later, we'll see how it detects it. The mapping is entirely 3D, you'll see it in the app, and it's done extremely fast. I was surprised that as soon as I put it on the floor to connect to Wi-Fi, it started scanning even though it wasn't on yet. You'll see the app as soon as I started it for the first time. It already shows me a very precise scan of what my room looks like, which really blew my mind, honestly. The mapping of this robot is incredible. This aspect stands out compared to traditional least squares deviation mapping methods, which are slower and take more time. Many more passes. In fact, you'll see that it completed the full mapping of the room during the first cleaning, and it hasn't even managed to cover all the corners yet. Just by taking a little stroll more or less through the middle of the room, it managed to scan everything perfectly. And here's something I can't test at home because I don't have mops, I don't have carpets, it's all flat floor. However, this robot vacuum, this Roborock Saros 10R, has the Adapt Lift system, which basically adapts the chassis to each type of situation so that you know. If it knows it's going to go over a rug or a carpet, it's going to raise its height a little bit. The 7.98 centimeters we mentioned earlier. It will lift the wheels slightly so it can move onto the carpet easily without getting stuck. I mean, the automatic operation of this robot is absolutely impressive. You may wonder what uneven surfaces it can handle. Well, it can handle uneven surfaces of up to 4 centimeters, which is already more than enough. It's a 4 centimeter fairly thick rug. With these systems, both the camera system and the Adapt Lift to adjust to all types of surfaces. It's going to be able to move around our house. Almost like it was a person, really, because it does it so naturally. It gets into every nook and cranny. Anyway, honestly, it moves really well to reach every last corner. Also, the mops, the part that scrubs in the back has a system that extends and retracts when the robot turns and so on. It can extend and reach all the corners so that not even a millimeter of the room is left uncleaned. Right? It does it super well, and it's amazing how naturally it does it, especially compared to other robots that bump into things. They try everywhere. No, this one gets right to the point. Once it makes the map, it navigates the corners as if it's done it 100 times. This is called Flexi Arm Riser. Well, anyway, the typical English names that the brand wants to give them, in the end, that's what it is. And, on the other hand, what I mentioned to you about the quick release system for the brushes to prevent hair tangles is called Duo Dive Anti-Tangle. Well, it has an SGS certification, but in the end, that's what it is. It makes cleaning the robot vacuum easier. Now that I've explained the technology, let's see how it leaves the room. For me, it turned out great. I had left it a lot of dirt from the past few days, collected in the corners and so on, and it absorbed absolutely everything. And on top of that, it mopped the floor, and the floor feels super clean to the touch. It moves these mops with certain pulses and so on, and honestly, it does it perfectly. The cleaning is impeccable. We can adjust the suction power. I let it do everything automatically. Just so you know, through the app, which we'll review later, we can choose the area, suction power, and mopping options. All of this is configurable. The suction power is 22,000 pascals, which is quite a lot for a robot vacuum of this type. It also smartly adjusts power based on the area, lowering it slightly on smooth floors. And if it's facing a carpet, which will be harder to absorb dirt from, it will use more power. Finally, let's talk about the base, the charging base. The DOC, it's a 10-in-1 station, 10-in-1. Well, because it'll do many things. The first thing, when the robot arrives at the station, the first thing it will do is start charging. During this time, the recharge it will perform will be a quick recharge. It charges from 0 to 100% in about 2 hours, and the recharge is fast. It will be smart in such a way that, let's say we send it to clean an entire house. Just imagine, it starts at 100%, starts cleaning, and suddenly it sees that it has little battery left, so it will automatically return to the charging base. And what if it knows that it only has the bathroom left to clean, which is nearby and small? Is it going to charge just enough so that it can clean and then return to the charging base? It doesn't always charge to 100%, which helps it finish cleaning faster. Once it's charged, it will leave the mops in the station itself, meaning they detach from the vacuum robot using those magnets. This way, they can be cleaned through an automatic wash. It does this and then dries them, a heat drying at 80 degrees, which removes absolutely all the dirt. Afterwards, what it will do is also extract the dirt, meaning it will vacuum the dirt from the vacuum cleaner's bin into the base's bin. This way, we can keep cleaning for many months without having to do any maintenance on the robot itself. Of course, the dirty cleaning water will be collected and put into the dirty water tank. We'll have both the clean and dirty water tanks I mentioned earlier. The app notifies us when cleaning, vacuuming, or mopping starts, or when the tank is low on water. In short, it's going to notify us about absolutely everything, so don't worry, because as I said, maintenance is basically zero. Also, cleaning the vacuum itself is quick. What does take longer is drying the mopping pads, which is done at 80 degrees and takes about 3 to 4 hours, according to what the app says. Right now, for example, the mop is drying after the last cleaning I did, and you can hear a slight whistling or a small background noise. So maybe it's not something you should do when you're about to go to sleep, but it's also true that the vacuum itself can be scheduled because we can set the hours during which we don't want it to make noise. This way, it will schedule both charging times, so that it's cheaper and the vacuum isn't making noise while we're sleeping. And now I'm going to show you the mobile app because I really think they've invested a lot of time here and it's worth spending a few minutes on it. Let's see how the Roborock app works, because I'm telling you, it's really worth it. Because the design is really cool, it's very well done, and it works amazingly. Okay, let's see here. We already have the Saros 10R. Let's go into what would be the robot. And here it asks us if we want to choose a family plan, well, so that more people can use it, and so on. In this case, we see that the robot has already fully charged after the last cleaning. It's at 100%, and here we see what would be my room. It has mapped everything. Accurate map of the room. It cleaned that corner and covered the area. Here's my desk, so to speak, and it didn't go to this part because the desk chair was there. Okay, here we have some cables that it detected really well. You'll see when we click that it tells me what happened there. Well, so cuts, ropes, or cables detected by artificial intelligence. It's 89% sure. And here where the table leg is, it tells me there's an obstacle, so perfect. It was able to do the rest of the things perfectly. It did the closet well. It did everything right. Let's start with this part down here on the right, where we have the dock settings. Here it's telling us what it's doing right now. It's drying the mop and estimates it will finish in about 1.6 hours. The clean water tank is fine. The dirty water tank is fine. The dustbin is fine. And what's left is just a little bit of detergent fluid. From here, we can stop the drying, start a mop wash, or empty the vacuum robot itself. Similarly, we can make it clean the mop every 15 minutes while cleaning the house. Or different things, like having the drying process last for 3 hours. Maybe we should lower that a bit. If we want hot water for cleaning, or however we want, we can also have it clean its own dirt tank. Well, we can set all of this up from here. However, I left it at the default settings. Then, here we have the options for what we want it to do. Regarding suction power, how much water we want it to use, how many times we want it to go over each area, or which route we want it to follow. I've left all of this on default so it does things in the way it thinks is best. We can use artificial intelligence to set up an automatic plan. Vacuum then mop, vacuum and mop together, just mop or just vacuum. Or customize what we want to do in each of the rooms. For example, maybe we want to mop the bedrooms, but only vacuum the kitchen. All of this can be done from here. Then here we set up, well, if we want to do the cleaning we've configured throughout the whole house. For me, it only detects the bedroom since I closed the door. If we want to select a room, in this case just one, we can choose areas to make larger or smaller. For example, I can set it to clean just the desk area, press start, and it begins. And finally, routines. We can set specific times for it to clean. Well, for example, when we want it to clean after meals, if we want it to do deep cleaning and all that kind of stuff. For example, we can tell it to clean the following area, which is going to be my desk area. With these settings and this way, we could just tap here and it would start cleaning my desk right away. Anyway, it's completely customizable. Also, it has this recognized map because our house could have several floors. And finally, we have a few. Well, we can also modify it to our liking, but honestly, I think he did it very well, all by himself. And here we have a bit of data from the robot's cleaning history, in this case, when it was cleaning my room. Then we have the schedules that we have set up. The maintenance section shows all filters, brushes, and sensors are at 100% and perfectly clean since it's still new. Similarly, we can arrange matters concerning the carpets and floors of the DOC. Anyway, and here, as you can see, we could say, for example, "Hello Rocky, I'm listening." Clean the bedroom, alright. The room selection, and I stopped it because actually right now I didn't want to clean. Lastly, this robot vacuum will be compatible with Alexa and Google Home. It will also allow the vacuum called Rocky. We can give it voice commands to start cleaning, vacuum the room. All of this we will be able to do by voice, in addition to the mobile app. Let's discuss the price. How much does this device cost? The device costs 1,499 euros. However, with Black Friday, we're gonna have a 600 euro discount, so the final price will be 899 euros. A price that I think is great for a well-known brand, one of the top sellers, Robot Vacuums, a model that is fully automatic and cleans really well. And in the end, the mapping it does of the house and the optimization it has are amazing. I think it's a very competitive price if you want one of the best robot vacuums on the market. This Roborock Saros 10R is definitely worth it. That being said, guys, I hope you liked the video, that you found it interesting, and that you like this Roborock Saros 10R. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll leave you more information as well as the purchase link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. See you next time. Goodbye.